Well, I got my oxalic acid vaporization tool, and $165, and it's a piece of metal with some wire. It seems like everything having to do with honeybees is extremely expensive. And the reason why I didn't do this the first time is because it takes like 5 minutes per colony. It takes a lot of time. If you want to have a lot of colonies, you're kind of limited when you have other jobs you have to do. So I went with the Formic Pro formic acid, and it didn't work. My bees have mites. And today it's finally sunny, and it's almost 32. Well, maybe it is a little warmer. Snow's melting here and there. And the bees are getting crazy inside, so I decided to let them out. And this, I read the instructions on this vaporizer. And as long as it's above 4 degrees Celsius, you can use it. I can use it out here. I'm going to put the colonies back where they were. And I wrote down where they were before I brought them in. So I'm going to put them exactly the same locations. I did move a couple over because I pulled some out in between few, but they'll be pretty close to where they were. Because it's not going to be super cold anymore. I can feel the heat coming off these bees. It's not good for them to be like this. And I've got the doors open now. I'm letting them cool off in here a little bit. And this is a good time to bring them out. It's not too terribly cold outside. It won't be such a shock to them. And then I'm going to reassess the situation here. I'm going to use that vaporizer. I'm going to vaporize them outside and reassess how they're doing. But when I determined they had mites, I went around. When I brought most of them in, they were still calm. And I went through and I checked. The bees were all around the sugar. And I went through and I checked and looked at their backs. Right now you can't see they're on the wire cloth upside down. But when I brought them in, it was cooler. They were all calm. I could see a good 20-30 bees at the top of the hive. So I did see a few Varroa mites on my bees. I'd say maybe 1 out of every 100 bees had a Varroa mite. And I contacted NOD apiaries, or not apiaries, told him that the formic acid didn't work. And he asked, well, did you do it scientifically? I said, yeah, visually. I don't know what difference it makes if it's scientific or not. And then I asked him, does your Formic Pro formic acid kill Varroa mites? And he said yes. So then I asked him, well, how come I still have Varroa mites in my colonies? He said, well, maybe you got a reinfestation. I said, well, there isn't much I can do about that because I used your product during the temperature specifications. In Michigan, it's hot. Then all of a sudden, it'll cool off really quick. So as soon as it got cool enough where I could use that formic acid, I used it. And then as soon as I was done, the 3-week period, it got cold again. And I can't use it while it's too cold. It's too cold right now. But this oxalic acid, you can use when it's cold out. So it is better. It just takes more time. And hopefully I can save my colonies, because if I let them go, don't do anything, I'm not going to have anything next spring. I just know it. I've been doing this for several years. And it's November. You shouldn't be having this many losses in November. So if I can kill the Varroa mites now before it gets extremely cold, because you have 3 things. You have the pesticides, the Varroa mites, and the climate. Those 3 things kill your bees. If you can eliminate one of them, either the climate, that's why I bring some in, and if you can eliminate the Varroa mites, I can't do anything about the farmers' pesticides. If you see in my videos, I had an incident last May with farmers who are 150 yards away spraying neonicotinoids when it was windy, and my bees started dying within a few hours after they were out in the field. So I can't do anything about that unless I go around and start shooting farmers. That's an option, but I would be thrown in prison for that. So try to eliminate as many of these 3 things that harm bees as you can. So I'm going to end this video now. I'm going to use, as soon as I get these bees out, I'm going to use the oxalic acid vaporizer. If I don't get them all done today, because of the time, it takes 5 minutes per colony, the next few days, within the next 7 days, I should have temperatures in the 40s. I should be able to use it, because it says on the directions, anything above 4 degrees Celsius, you can use that vaporizer. Okay?